I forgot to push the live, by the way, so we'll just keep talking. Oh, killing me. I pushed the live and it didn't start, man. It didn't start. So we're just talking about these games today. Um, just how Tottenham right now is in trouble because Marseille can win the group now with a win, and the other team's drawing. That any four teams can go through. Any four teams can be knocked out. Bayern has won the group. Inter has finished second. Barcelona is out. Atletico Madrid is out. Porto and Bruges go through. Next week we'll decide who wins. Napoli and Liverpool both go through easily. So it's pretty interesting results today, and some of the Brazil games are going on now. Sierra's up 1-0. Fluminense up 1-0. So
yeah, they get wacky around this time of year.
So tomorrow there's 32 games. There's the the Europa League and Europa Conference League. Pretty interesting games. Let me pull these tables up. Standings. I think the early games are the first set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it's A through D are early for the most part. Union Berlin, the first game on the board. Union Berlin and USG. USG is in first place, qualifies. They go through with a win. I think in a win or a draw. Win or a draw at home against Braga, and they go through. Braga right now in second. No. What did Union Berlin do against?
I think didn't they beat Malmo?
3-3. So they're not through yet with a draw. The win they definitely are. And Union Berlin plays Braga, and Malmo plays Union St. Gallen. Why would they put Union Berlin and Union St. Gallen? Like, don't put two Union teams. Why don't they put the Philadelphia Union in there too, just to make things? This group is interesting. USG at Malmo. USG's plus 100. From right away from these early games. That's probably the game I target first. Zurich has been brutal in playing Bodo. Bodo Glimt is third behind
on the road,
PSV. Yeah. Who, Bodo?
Yeah, they're more of like a home team.
Yep. I don't really, it's Bodo's got a better goal difference and all that stuff. I think that's why they're there. Lazio against Midtjylland. Any of these early games, kind of, Arsenal at plus 133 at PSV Eindhoven is interesting as well. Any of these early games jump out at you?
Oh, you should know which one I'm eyeing already.
Oh, let me see. Hold on.
Yeah, come on. You tell.
Larnaca.
You know it. Anytime they're at home with that plus 200, man, it's just ridiculous to me. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and the both teams are out, so really, not much to play for, but just some pride, and it's interesting though. When I was in Chavs one year when Rio Ave is 2014 or 2015, and Chavs Rio Ave. That's how I started to like Rio Ave. Rio Ave was playing. We were in the pub. It's in this up in the mountains. There's like a little village, and like this, they built a little cafe with a pool table and TV and stuff. So we were watching we're playing pool, watching Real Ave play, and Real Ave beat somebody, and we're like going like, but these teams, for these smaller teams, if they win these games, they get like €1.5 million for winning each game. Just for winning the game, you get money for being in the competition, but for every win, you get €1.5 million or something like this. Well, for a team like Larnaca, man, that pays their wage bill for a while. Like these games mean something, even it's match day 5 and they're both out of it. But if Larnaca could win this game and win the next game, that's an extra €2 or €3 million going into their coffers, which means maybe they can buy another player or something like that. These games do, when people say that they don't mean anything, they actually do to some of these smaller teams. So, and Larnaca has been good, like you said, at home, and Kiev hasn't been great. So yeah, that's interesting at plus 205. Union Berlin, who's been okay. They've only scored 2 goals in 4 games and only allowed 2 goals in 4 games. Is playing Braga, and Braga is plus 330 here. I know it's at home, and Union Berlin has to advance to win to go through, but that's a little crazy, that line to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this Braga team. They got ripped open by USG in both those matches they played against them. It's a tough one for me, these early matches.
Proxy's on here. We were asking earlier if you played that NBA play from the other day. Yeah, look, I think Tottenham is in trouble here. I don't know how long Conte's going to be in that. So is Tate Brown. I don't know how much how I think they're in trouble. I really do. Conte could,
fire.
This guy.
Lay waste to everybody. If Chelsea can do it, you can do it.
That's right. The other game here that I was looking at, and once again, I really do like USG at Malmo. I think they're better. Arsenal, I do like. At PSV Eindhoven, I think they're better. But this, where is it? This Ludogorets Real Betis game, Betis is. This is, to go through. I mean, obviously, Rome was playing HJK, and the last match day is Roma Ludogorets, and
Betis HJK.
Yeah, Betis HJK. So, Ludogorets really can go through. They'd be in a really good position to go through with a win, but this Betis team is good, man. They're plus 128. I'd have to think about that a lot. Fenerbahce Rennes, I don't care. Lazio Midtjylland. Where's Lazio?
That's one that's going to be like 1 million goals.
Yeah, look at this group. 5-5-5-5.
That's ridiculous. It literally is anybody's game on match day 5. Everybody's in first, everybody's in last.
And these teams are all pretty good, too. Like, that's the crazy thing. So Lazio is going to play first and Midtjylland, and then at 3 o'clock is going to come the Sturm Graz Feyenoord game. So, that's, maybe a big advantage for that. I always thought my Spurs mates have been missing from the group chat for a while, so had to troll them on Twitter. Yeah, you got to, man. Porto, huge performance. Yeah, look, I mean, they were great. The penalty, the penalty that was disallowed, like that they made them take again because stupid English referees. I thought, changed the game a little bit. Took the momentum away. But yeah, look, Bruges wasn't very good, but they're through, so maybe they just didn't. I don't know. you can't explain games like that. I mean, they played so well, and then all of a sudden they just implode in the game. So I just don't know. Ferencváros and Monaco. Monaco is on the road and favored at -107, but Ferencváros actually leads the group. And what was the score against beat Monaco in Monaco.
Monaco's garbage.
Yeah, that's a weird line. I don't know about that.
So bad.
The only thing I've seen with these lines is like, that Porto line today. Then that Liverpool, like, you're like, man, Liverpool's been brutal. It's like -1. Like Porto favorite. Like, I don't know. Maybe Monaco is the play because that line is a little bit weird. Maybe Ferencváros should be closer to +180 or something like that.
Well, I did say earlier show, I noticed that like the day before Tuesday, just Tuesday, and even today now, the teams that needed to show up really showed up in a big way. Like we had the AC Milan 4-0, Chelsea won on the road. Today, Liverpool showed up when a spot they needed to. Obviously, you're going to have the one slip up. Today was Tottenham. I forget who it was yesterday, but that's what I mean. Like yesterday, Benfica showed up. All these teams that had to come to play, even Juventus showed their face in the last 10 minutes of that match. So it's one that, maybe you're right. Maybe Monaco comes. Maybe they know Monaco's going to come and throw everything at them today. And we saw Atletico Madrid. That was an over. I was on that over too for that specific reason. And like 2-2. Like how often do you see that in an Atletico Madrid match?
Yeah, and
they were trailing too both times. So
yeah. 2 goals and 3 goals in the first 29 minutes, and then go right after halftime. And both these, and then Yannick Carrasco missed the penalty at 90+9.
Oh my God, he could have won it for them.
Yep, that knocked him out.
Yeah. So this is what I mean, though. The team, even though as bad as Atletico Madrid, even though they drew and kicked themselves out, they still, 2 goals from them. They came to play. That's not often you see that kind of performance from them.
Foxy says Monaco's allowed 8 goals in their last 2 away games against Lille and Trabzonspor. So,
oh my God, that's right. They got smashed by Trabzonspor. Yeah, I don't know. Ferencváros is a good team too. It's a tough one.
And they won the first game. The later games to me are like not as. Roma probably wins, but you got to lay -2 here, or minus. Let me see, -1.5.
Is Roma on the road?
Yes.
Ooh, under 2.5 is +110. That's interesting because this is, if anything, HJK is more of a defensive team. They're not gonna, even playing at home here, they're not gonna score on Roma. Their best hope is to clutch the entire 90 minutes to a draw. And we know Roma doesn't really score goals. So, like, if they're going to win this game, I could see it being 1 or 2-0.
Yeah. Where did this go?
What do you think of the Karabag +200 in Nantes? I know they're on the road, but man, like, this Karabag team, they screwed me last time against Olympiacos, but like Olympiacos was desperate in that match.
Yeah, it's interesting because Nantes gets back in it with a win and then plays who does Nantes play next time? Karabag plays Freiburg, who wins the group. Nantes plays Olympiacos on the road.
But Karabag they can clinch with a draw here, can't they?
Yeah, they because they're 4 points ahead, right? Yeah, Karabag just needs a draw to clinch, and Karabag .025 is minus 129. Yeah.
I don't know, something about this Karabag team. Like every time I've gone against them, like in the craziest situations too, like on the road against good teams, they always show up to play.
Foxy, Nantes, Nice, Monaco, horrible French teams. Yeah,
I agree.
I don't love these games.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Nantes isn't a good team, like in general. They're only here because they won the cup match. They're not even going to finish. Maybe they'll be lucky. They finished 9th last season. They'll be lucky to be top 10 this year in France. Like I could see Karabag rolling in and at least getting a result here. Now you probably can't get the double chance. Probably going to be a little juiced, but like maybe a draw no bet. I don't know. Took that with Bruges earlier, and that was obviously terrible. So.
You know what game is interesting here? This Cervena Zvezda.
Oh, your Cervena Zvezda.
And Trabzonspor, because when you look at this table, Trabzonspor's on 6 points right now, second place behind Ferencváros, who's playing Monaco. So if Ferencváros wins and beats Monaco at home and goes through, and then Red Star wins, there's 3 teams on 6 points on the final day. And, you're going to have Red Star hosting Trabzonspor. Red Star hosting or going to Monaco, and Trabzonspor hosting Ferencváros, who's already through. So that could get match day 6. A lot of times we talk about match day 6, and you want to look for the games that actually mean something because there's not a lot of them. So, these obviously Freiburg at minus 230. Some of these games here, like Feyenoord at minus 105. I don't know. I don't love the 3:00 games, to be honest with you. Manchester United. I mean, I don't even know how to bet that game anymore. You can't. They should, minus 11-15. They should win the game 6-0, but they won't. So there's a new sheriff in town.
Yeah, I don't really love any of the games tomorrow. They're tricky, and like you look at how close some of these groups are. You got the one that's just 5-5-5-5. So a lot of these are actually going to come down to match day 6, most likely.
Yeah, I think I like Betis a little bit. I think I like Arsenal a little bit. I think I like Union St. Gilloise against Malmo. I just don't think Malmo's any good. You like Larnaca. Some of these games, Bodo not great on the road. I know Zurich is bad, but once again, not really huge plays here anywhere. And gonna take a look at the Conference League. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, there's 7 12:45 games, and there's more. Oh, it's supposed to be 8 and 8, but I guess not. Anderlecht, who's on 4 points, is minus 305 against FCSB, who's atrocious, minus 12 goal difference. But Anderlecht, and Anderlecht, I guess, needs the game. I mean, West Ham is basically through, so you just don't know what's going to happen there. But West Ham doesn't play until 3:00, so Anderlecht won't know. So maybe Anderlecht here, minus 1.5 at plus 100. Decent. Red Star, not an easy place to go. They battered Ferencváros at home. I'm sure, yes, they did. You're right. It's not a great place to go.
They're going to be desperate in this match too. Foxy, I got a parlay for you tomorrow. You're going to like this one. Monaco, Nice, and Basel.
Oh, who's Basel playing?
They're playing Zalgiris.
Zalgiris. They have to win that game. There's no way Basel loses to Zalgiris Vilnius, right?
You'd think, right? No, don't play that parlay. I'm not endorsing that parlay. It was just a joke because those are all three crappy teams that we joke about. Just want to put the disclaimer out there, not endorsing that. But yeah, you'd think Basel would beat Zalgiris, but watch, Zalgiris is so defensive. They watch it be like a 1-0, 2-0 win.
See these groups like 8-5-4-4, 7-9-7-4. I mean, there's a lot of these groups 7-7-4-4. Sivasspor, Cluj, right in the middle of it. Cluj all the time. Prague.
Not even leading their group. Unbelievable.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, Balkany at home against Praha, but we, just said like,
Slavia Prague's got to win that one.
Yeah, Slavia Prague's got to win it, but they're on the same amount of points, and basically the goal difference, Balkany's goal difference is they score goals, Balkany. So who knows? And they're at home. But Balkany, look at this, man. Balkany's at home, and they score goals in these games. They scored 8 goals in the game. I mean, they give up 9, but let me see this over 2.5.
It's like minus 130.
Both teams to score minus 143. I mean, that's something. 3 bankers right there. He's talking about your plays. I think that's something you can do there. Sometimes you find these games. I wouldn't immediately look, Slovako and Köln. These two teams have the same. I think they're the same amount of points. They're both on 4 points, and Köln is plus 100 on the road. Like that is to me. Like, why is the line like that? I would be looking at Köln there. I don't love the game, but you're looking at Köln, Alkmaar, Vaduz, Basel minus 2.5, right? Basel expecting them to score. Look at Cluj right here. Cluj at plus 275 and Sivasspor. Wow. No faith in, and they're even on points. Cluj just doesn't score any goals. They don't allow any. But that's, Cluj has only allowed 2 goals in 4 games, and they're getting plus 275 at, they don't give up goals. Let's see if this loads.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting one because I see plus 300 for Cluj, so that's it's pretty wild. Sivasspor is not a great team.
Yeah, Cluj are draw minus 137, which is high. It should be like plus 275. You usually see that down like minus 120 or something like that. It's weird. You think Hapoel Bar can get a result away at Villarreal? Villa already threw his top, and Emery left to Villa. Yeah, let's look at that.
Why would he want to leave to Villa? I saw that earlier in the week, but money. I guess Aston Villa has some players, but
Villa has a ton of money too. Villa's like crazy. Villa's been spending like crazy. They spend more money than Newcastle.
Yeah, well, they have good players on their team, but they still suck. So I guess maybe this will help. Maybe this was the move they needed. We'll have to see. I wanna believe in Aston Villa. I've bet them a few times this year. I know they have the players there. Ollie Watkins is a great goal scorer. I think they have some good pieces. They just, I don't know. Maybe they're like your team. They just need to get their management in order, and then they'll start making the turn.
This is interesting, Foxy, that Bar-Shiva or draw is plus 200. I mean, Bar-Shiva at plus 650 might be worth a shot.
Take the 1.5 plus 1.5 or whatever. So then you get a goal in your pocket. What is Villarreal favored by? Yeah, 250. That's almost minus 1.5.
That's minus 137. I mean, yeah, that's not terrible either.
Even the plus 1, then you're safe if they lose by 1. But
plus 1 is plus 133. So yeah,
Villarreal, they just lost, I think 3-0 to Barcelona, and they might have played another match after that. But let me check. I can check right now. Villarreal. Let's see. Yeah, they won 2-1 over Almeria. I actually remember watching that when they struggled to beat Almeria, and they were again a -250 favorite at home. And Almeria is a newly promoted side; like they should have had no problem winning that 3-0 at home. So yeah, you know what? Villarreal is starting to slip.
All right. Any other these you like any other these games or not really? I'm not feeling this conference league here.
Yeah, definitely not the conference league. Maybe eventually when all the Europa teams start getting kicked out, and then the conference league is going to be like better than Champions League too.
Yeah, I think you're kidding.
You're gonna have Barcelona. You're gonna have you're gonna have the Man Cities, the PSGs, the Reals, the Bayerns in Champions League. Then you're gonna have the Barcelonas, the Man United, the Arsenals in Europa League, and then you're somehow still gonna end up with like a Marseille or a Sporting and Frankfurt's in the Conference League at the end. The West Hams.
This line's moving a little bit here. This NFL line, since we started talking about Ravens are up to -106. Line went down to 1.
Wow.
Everybody might be betting it because they're watching the show. All 7 people that were watching it earlier must have went and bet it.
Yeah, I don't know about these Bucks, man. So the Ravens are a dog now. Weren't they favorite? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's an interesting game.
Yeah.
Could be boring.
I don't know. Foxy, you tell me. Am I crazy to think that Tom Brady's got the hex on him from Giselle and I should just avoid betting the Bucks at all costs? I want to hear what Foxy has to say. He's from the local area. He's got that inside knowledge. I want to know. I want to know, is this hex the real deal? This Giselle hex?
I do like. I think it probably is. She is a witch. I like a couple of the college. I don't really like I don't bet college football too much. I do like. Utah just beat USC is now -7 at Washington State, which is interesting because sometimes that's a trap game. Blah 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 blah. But Utah is clearly better. Washington State, I think that could be an interesting game. And then I also think this NC State Virginia Tech game, NC State, if the quarterback plays, NC State should win that game pretty handily. So Barca will be pushing for the Super League now, financial disaster for them being eliminated. The big question is, does Newcastle get in the Super League? Do we let Newcastle in?
Is this Super League gonna happen?
Yeah, I think so. I think
really
in a couple years. Yeah, it's just what these teams. I mean, when the Champions League format switches to the 10 games or whatever they're doing, and the whatever teams go through, like the table. I think it'll have to because Barca is broke. Real Madrid, they know if they get the key for these teams is they have to play the Premier League. The Premier League is the biggest league in the world. It's the richest league. It's the most watched. These other leagues. The hell, man, you can't. The German league's on ESPN Plus. You got to get. You can't. I know the Premier League is also on the streaming thing as well, but they also
on the cock.
They have regular games on USA and NBC as well. You can't find it. You can't find a Bundesliga game. You can't find a La Liga game on regular TV.
Actually, in Canada, they play them on TSN for some reason. I can't get Premier League and other leagues on TV, but I'm getting Bundesliga. I'll get and in the dumbest games too. Like I'll wake up on a Sunday morning and at 9 a.m. I turn the TV on and we got Hertha Berlin and Hoffenheim. I'm like, great, this is exactly the match I needed to start. The other day I was watching Union Berlin and Cologne a few weeks ago. Like, come on.
Sometimes, those games are on ESPN Plus here, and I'm like, I try to watch them. I'm like, if there's like nothing else on, or if like say, I got the 3 TV set, like sometimes I'll put the third game on that, and I'll say, oh, it's interesting because there usually is a lot of goals, but I don't know. I'd rather watch a championship game or a Premier League game, like one of the bad games. It's just like I don't know. It is what it is. But yeah, I think that might happen here soon. The crazy thing with this game is NC State is favored by 13 points, and the over-under in this game is 39. Like, think about that. If Virginia Tech scores any amount of points, it's going over.
Yeah, like what?
But it's like, yeah.
That's a little fishy.
Schedule. Let's see here. 90% chance NC State hosts Virginia Tech with tweaked offense. So what's the tweaked offense? Second plus 4-game winning streak, losing streak. NC State's reshaped offense versus Virginia Tech's defense spent an open week tweaking the offense after losing start back and preseason league player of the year Devin Leary to a season-ending injury. Jake Chambers at the helm. So Devin Leary's out. Virginia Tech hasn't had 30 points in the game this year and manages 34 combined points in losses to West Virginia, North Carolina, and Miami. Yikes. 14 straight home games. I don't think they score. Virginia Tech only. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to back off that game. More chance Basel winning Europa Conference than Brady winning a regular NFL game. Whoa.
That's what I'd like to hear.
I do like this Utah game.
You heard it here first. Foxy says Tom Brady is the Basel of the NFL. Okay, the Bucks are the Basel of the NFL. It's official.
That's right. Utah lost to UCLA. Yeah, Washington State can't score. I do like this game. It's a little bit of a trap game after this result, but I think just the way that they won it, Utah -7. I would bet it down to. I would bet it down to 6.5 at -121 and take that. I think that's a pretty good play. Any other games you got? Who's winning the World Series?
The World Series. Oh man, I don't even know. I hope the Astros. I have a futures bet on them from June, but
yeah, they're winning it.
I don't know, man. These Phillies. There's always that one weird team that makes it to the World Series and then wins it.
Yeah, just the Astros they've been there every year. I mean, this is the 4th time since 2017 they've been in the World Series, I think.
Yeah, they have the better pitching for sure.
Yeah, yes, that's big.
Like the Phillies bullpen is garbage.
Yes. All right. So that'll be, and we'll hold it there, I guess. Foxy with the big thing there. So we'll be back on Friday at 11, and we're going to talk a lot about these games this weekend. Some decent games coming up. And but just listen, if you have any questions about tomorrow during the day, just tweet us here, and we'll be able to answer them. I'll be watching my computer while I'm taping my other show, but trying to get done so I can watch this United disaster class tomorrow. Who's winning the MLS? Bell didn't even play versus the Galaxy. Yeah, I would say Philadelphia comes out of the East. I tell you who's dangerous, that Austin team. Austin's at plus 460 in that game, and they beat Los Angeles twice this year. LAFC's never been to the final. The Union have never been to the final. And NYCFC is plus 290. The Union are minus 115 at home.
NYCFC is the defending champions, are they
Yes.
not?
Yeah.
Okay, see, nobody's given them respect. They've been through the grunt. Like, there was a few years back, I remember when Seattle and Toronto were the dominant teams from each conference. Like, it didn't matter. There were some years they were skirting into the playoffs in like 7th place, and then they were going all the way deep because it's all about having the players with those experience. So definitely, in New York City FC, and then in that Western Conference one, man, that's just a crapshoot because like Austin FC is brand new to the league, and as you said, LAFC's never been to the final, so that's like a someone's got to go kind of game. And LAFC looked terrible against the Galaxy. I was sweating the entire time.
Yeah, I agree.
And then they scored, and I was like, and then no, and then It's the worst experience.
Yeah, I just think, I think it's going to be. I wouldn't be stunned to see one of these teams. I wouldn't be stunned to see one of these two teams lose, the home teams. Which one it is, I would side with Austin. The LAFC should not lose a game, but they didn't look great the other day, and who knows if Bale's going to play. So, but all right. So all right, we'll end on that. So we will see you on Friday at 11, and surprise, NYC are still in it after losing Castellans. Yeah, they just do these games. They win these games, man. They're just really good at it. I guess the knockout stage. All right. We will see you Friday.